So my name is Caitlin, and I'm here today with Jack Martin from 1111. Say hi.
Hello.
You got your little microphone up above there.
Oh yeah, just so you can hear me better.
Awesome. So can you tell us what you do in the band?
So I am one of the guitarists along with Adam. A lot of people like to call me the rhythm guitarist for memes. Um, but mainly doing the guitar and also doing the production style for all our tracks. So that's like the mixing, recording, things like that.
So when did you start learning guitar, and why did you start learning guitar?
I started UK terms. I was in about year 3 or 4. Um, One of the main reasons I think was because one of my brothers, Jack, ironically, um, he plays guitar as well, and I think he had a spare one, and I just kind of like I kind of took it home just to kind of like mess about on. Then I started getting lessons. Uh, Learn obviously like all the basic chords and things like that. Um, and then I moved on to sort of learning more theoretical stuff, so learning the theory side and scales and all that boring stuff. And then I moved on to college to do the music course there, and that's when I obviously knew Connor and Adam before and James, and that's when we just decided to form this band.
So you guys have been a band since 2018. How do you feel that this new EP, Machiavellian, shows the development that you guys have all made as a band?
I think, I mean, especially from a production point of view, like mixing wise and etc., I think the sound seems more full. It seems more whole. It feels like we've taken our time with it, and I feel like we've done things because we feel that it's right, not just because we're doing it for the sake of doing it. I think we've started to kind of, in this EP for definite, we've kind of just started to get the sound that we are best at making at. So that's being more experimental, using like Adam using jazz chords in rock. And I think this whole EP kind of signifies us as a band, and our feelings like are more the more I want to say, the subjects that people don't talk about enough. So we've done it in the past where we've done things on mental health with Phase and Hollow and things like that. But I think this EP kind of like really gets across the point to where like, you know, this is a big problem, and like we're really passionate about like getting that, the message out there that, I think we've really gone into detail about how we feel about certain subjects. So, the mental health side of things, especially this year. Um, I feel like we've voiced our opinion more, we've put more emotion into it. And I feel like a lot of people will enjoy it because it's a different 1111. Like it's a new sound for us.
Each track varies quite differently in lyrical themes within this CP. Where do the ideas for each track stem from?
It's a good question. I'd say it's very when we do lyrics, it's kind of like it's always in the moment. It's never a slow process where we'll write 3 or 4 lines over 2 days. We'll write them in a moment where if we feel a bit shit, or we feel like we've seen something and we kind of like want to vent about it. So I feel like our lyrics are kind of like really really raw. They've got a lot of raw emotion. How say if I write a verse, or Connor or Adam, it feels very raw of how we feel in that moment when we're writing them. And I think like I said before, like we want to keep that common theme going, and that common theme is obviously people feeling a bit shit. Especially with Just Like You, like I feel like it just like you really gets that point across. Even though you probably are to other people, but yourself, you don't feel like you are yourself. And just keeping that theme and keeping it, real, that not everyone has it, fine and dandy, that everyone does feel like really emotional sometimes. And I feel like our lyrics are a good vent. They're like they're a vent of frustration, anger, emotion, especially after this year. I feel like, especially this EP, like we've gone such a different way about it with writing. So
Are there any tracks that you feel fit more personally to you and your emotions on this EP?
I'd probably say Machiavellian and Just Like You. I feel like, I mean, Adam and Connor will probably disagree with me, but I feel like Machiavellian is that song that kind of, especially in our country, like the way this whole like 2020 panned out, and this whole virus thing has panned out, like it really does vent, my thoughts on it, that it's not been handled the best way it could have. And the same with Just Like You, like even like personally for me, being a hard year, it really does show that, you know even the happiest people aren't sometimes okay. And I feel like that, especially towards the end with Connor's big vocals, I feel like Connor's put, you know that's not just Connor singing, that's like him really, like, getting out the frustration. And especially at the end of Machiavellian as well, like, screaming it, and just that's all the anger being let out from like everything that's gone on all year. um and even like the writing process with them, with both songs, they were slow, they were tough, but I feel like we've made the right decisions to get them to sound as good as we want. um Whereas I'd probably say for a couple of other songs we've done, we might have, we could have done something like this, which would have been better. But for this, I mean, even the EP as a whole, like we've, I think we've made the right decisions to make the songs as best we can, to make them sound and feel and connect with people as well.
Okay, so you say that you take on a lot of the production aspects, and I know that you single-handedly produced the EP Machiavellian. So why did you decide to take on this project single-handedly and just do it all yourself, as opposed to getting any other people involved?
I mean, for the last, apart from Closer, No Chance in Hell and Phase, they were mixed and stuff by Dan. Um, and I kind of sat there and I thought, like, I want to challenge myself to take on something as big as an EP. Especially for us, an EP is a big project to do. And listening to Dan's mixes and how good they were, it kind of like motivated me to better myself and challenge myself more. Um, and throughout the whole, the mixing process, that was it. It was, I'm gonna lie, it was hard. Um, but I feel like it was just it was like a new challenge for me, because I've never done, a project this big before. I've never, I mean, the last song I did apart from this EP was Skyline, and we all know how that sounds. So it's just, it's the new challenge and the new ways I'd found of mixing, because I'd been practicing, you know, using skills I'd learned, whether it be at college or on my own doing other people's tracks. It was just I feel like I had a new motivation for doing an EP. I think like, I mean, like, even when I put, like, to everyone that, especially Where Do You Go When You Feel Alone, that song was definitely the hardest, because there was so many challenges in that. There was so many harmonies, so many layers, and I feel like at one point I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna send this off and just get someone else to do it. But I feel like we made the right decision of sticking to it and keeping going, and just and I also learned that it's also good, like, right, to take a break sometimes. Because I'm sort of when it comes to music, like, I'm that person that, you can't, I don't want to take a break because it needs doing, but sometimes you have to. you have to like work on yourself and just reset and go again.
I think that also, in some ways, even if you don't realize it, echoes throughout some of your lyrics.
It does, yeah, it does. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't give themselves enough time to themselves, if that makes sense. Um, which I've learned that, sometimes it is best to just lay off for a bit and kind of like just, go into Zen mode and reset and just think about it and then come back to it a couple of days later, which is what I did. And then that was kind of like the final push.
Especially after the fun stories of being forced to take a break because you would be
Yeah.
literally screaming on a group chat.
Yeah, that's what it came to though, was literally being forced to, people telling me that, I mean, you, Adam, and everyone, that like you're gonna need to sort of like back off a bit, because like the more you get frustrated on it, the more angry you're gonna get with it. That's what I learned throughout this whole thing, was it's good to take a break.
So you say, where do you go when you feel alone was the hardest to produce overall? What made it so difficult to get to that end goal in the end? Why was it so difficult?
I think it was the sound we wanted for it. I was finding it hard to give it that sound. So, um, we'd added in the chorus, for the line, the title of the song, when that's sung. There's probably about there's probably about 3 Adams and 4 Connors on it. So getting all of them to work together, is tough, because the vocal tracks they provided were fucking incredible, and it was trying to justify how good it was, because a song can be, the best written song ever, but if it doesn't sound good, then no one's going to enjoy it. And I wanted people to sort of like realize, okay, this is new. This is something that I can get on board with.
Where do you go when you feel alone is a track that's been in the works for quite a while across the entire development of the EP, and it's changed quite a few ways from its original demo, including a included monologue at the end. Can you tell us a little bit about the monologue, what it includes, why you decided to put it in there?
Um, so this is going to sound really out there, but I kind of put the idea to Adam and Connor. Um, there's a Slipknot song, All Out Life. Um, and people say, Nothing But Thieves just released an album and they've got sort of like a speech in the middle, but I think ours is different, because ours is like, someone venting their frustration. And that's what I took from, All Out Life, is that it's kind of like someone just, you know having something build up inside someone and then venting it all out. um I'm not going to say who did the monologue. You're going to have to guess when it comes out. When I wrote I think I wrote the monologue in about, it probably took me about 15-20 minutes, which sounds kind of rushed, but I felt like I got into the headspace of like, gathered all my thoughts, the whole EP process, not even just COVID, but, the frustrations we've had with recording the EP, doing no gigs, um, staying at home, all year, uh, putting that all out, and seeing, and especially it kind of sums up the word Machiavellian as well. You know, one of the lines in it, I think, is something along the lines of, "I want to see my enemies fall." Um, and it kind of describes the word Machiavellian in the song in a subtle way. So I feel as well like it adds intensity to the track. It adds emotion. It adds, craziness, if you want to say that. Um, it really gives it a good drive as well. it really makes it sort of empowering as well. Yeah, I'd probably say like as well, like the way I wanted it to sound as well was like when people have, you know, voices in their head or whatever, you know, that's the voices talking to the person. So, you know, it's not them saying it, but it's their head saying it, you know, all the frustration it's just spilling out into their mind, it's taking over. And that sort of vibe like appealed to me quite a lot.
Where do you hope to see yourself progress to after this EP as a band and as an individual?
As a band, I hope we obviously COVID dependent. I hope we can go out in cities like Manchester and show how much we believe in ourselves and how much passion we put into this EP. And how hard we've worked on it, because you know I'm proud of every single one of them, even like, you know, you doing the social media and shit, like proud of everyone that's, you know, put the work in, because it's been tough, but it's also been extremely fun as well. I've loved every single minute of it, even if at some points I wanted to, you know, destroy Adam and Connor. Um, but I hope we can get out and show people what this EP does highlight, and what this EP shows about, you know, the way humans are. This, you know, now that we're not the human race is nowhere near perfect, and there's still so many people like just not able to, you know, even get out of bed every day. There's still some people that can't bring themselves to do that. And that's personally, that's who I want to help during, you know, during this whole EP, like helping them, showing them that again, it's okay to not be okay. Um, and I say, as for myself, I'd probably say that, you know, getting other people, you know, if people listen to it and they like the sound of the mixing, then they can come to me and ask, you know, for to kind of progress into, you know, becoming a mixing engineer and things like that.
So, final question. Obviously, you may have had chances that you wanted to murder every single member of your band, and probably still do. But what is your favorite memory of being in 1111 and why?
I'd probably say band one. I'd probably say us going out uh, for our first gig in Manchester at Academy 3, because that was like we'd kind of at that point, that's what we'd work towards, you know, playing in Manchester and supporting in Manchester, like walking out, especially on a stage like Academy 3 for us was, it was like the biggest thing we'd, you know, done. And even walking out there, you know, if we were to walk out there tomorrow night, like it'd still be probably the best thing in the world. But I do have to mention another memory is when we played Atma and Connor fell up and down the stairs. You know, that'll always like I feel like I should get a tattoo just like kind of like on my arm or something, just to kind of like cement the fact that he did that, because it was absolutely fucking hilarious and I loved it. Pretty sure he did that gig with concussion, but you know, that's Connor for you. He always soldiers through. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he did it, but you know, that pretty much like sums up us like just falling down like the flight of stairs that isn't very like hazardous.
Right. Well, so that's the last of my questions. The EP comes out on the 5th of February, 2021. Is there any final things that you'd like to say to anyone watching?
Yeah, just enjoy it. We're not going to stop there after the EP. We're going to keep writing music and releasing it and stream it. But
You know what?
main one, enjoy it. I hope you can enjoy it anyway.